Woolies is still the biggest kid on the supermarket block. While Coles is snapping at its heels, relative newcomer Aldi has cornered 10% of the market and is growing. And with sales growth slowing, competitors say Woolies has taken its foot off the fresh food gas. Shareholders will get their say at the company's annual general meeting in Brisbane tomorrow. Anita Savage takes a look.
Woolworths, the fresh food people.
It's crunch time for the fresh food people.
It needs to rethink how it sells itself, both at a shareholder level and at a consumer level.
Woolworths is still the biggest of the supermarket retailers, but competition is increasing. Woolworths has 39% of the market share, compared to Coles with 33.5%, and the German discount chain Aldi now reaching 10% and growing.
When you get Aldi coming into a market, we've seen a thing called the Aldi effect, where prices come down in the area where this store starts to appear. And that's great news for consumers, but it's also a rallying call to Woolworths and Coles. They need to start giving consumers what they want, and that's not necessarily about brand, but it's certainly about price.
A new report from global banking group Morgan Stanley shows Aldi has reached critical mass in Australia. With 350 stores and $4 billion in sales, Aldi is now a viable alternative to the big two supermarket chains.
They have a very good attribute of surprise and delight. You know, the little once-a-week specials that they put in play, television sets, surf gear, you know, things that you don't expect in a supermarket, create something that's interesting for consumers. And they have a sense of humour, which is sadly lacking in the two majors in this country.
The Morgan Stanley report quotes one supermarket operator saying Woolworths has taken its foot off the pedal in fresh food pricing.
I think the biggest problem for Woolworths right now is managing shareholder expectation.
Woolworths Chief Executive Grant O'Brien has admitted the retailer needs to improve consumer perceptions about its price competitiveness. His comments followed the latest set of figures, which showed that in the first quarter, the group posted its lowest quarterly sales growth for more than 5 years.
All of the players are looking at profit rather than necessarily straight sales. It isn't just a bottom line game, it's actually profitable sales. So all of the players need to look at what they do to actually establish a beachhead, a la an Aldi or a Costco, and price is the number one aphrodisiac. You know, cheap still draws a large amount of magnetism from consumers.
Woolworths is fighting back against Coles' Prices Are Down campaign, launching the Cheap Cheap campaign. And then there's its fuel venture with Caltex. It's agreed with the ACCC to curtail excessive fuel discounting and is undergoing a major rebranding.
The biggest winners out of that were Coles and Woolworths. What they had was an ACCC sanctioned prohibition on offering big discounts for petrol.
The biggest drain on Woolworths is the loss-making hardware business Masters Home Improvement, up against Wesfarmers' Bunnings juggernaut. Woolworths and its US partner Lowe's have poured almost $3 billion into Masters, even though it's yet to break even. Retail analyst Peter Ryan says shareholders at tomorrow's AGM will be demanding transparency.
What really is going on with Masters? How much have they lost? What are the likely projected losses for Masters? What's the likely return period for that business? And they're difficult things to answer.
If Woolworths continues to sink money into its struggling hardware business, the board will need to make some tough decisions, or else investors might make the decisions themselves.